Hello and welcome back to Finishing Strong. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about a topic that is dear to me. And remember, on Finishing Strong, I always say this is the transparent space. So just to share some transparency with you today, the topic that I want to use is even when it doesn't make sense, always still give thanks. So give thanks when it doesn't make sense. And let me share a little story with you and tell you why I thought this would be a great topic. Because we tend to believe that when we see famine in our life that we don't have favor. We tend to believe when we see strife and pain and ugly that we don't have blessings and favor and grace. But a lot of times it's happening at the same time. You know, that wheat and that tare that grow up together, it's happening at the same time. Here's my story. And if you are a strong community supporter for real, you already have a copy of this book. So you'll be able to kind of follow along with this story. So in my book, I talk about my marriage to the pretender. And right at the end, he left our home and did not come back. We were in a beautiful high-rise condo. It's very expensive, very elaborate, all of that. But I was a stay-at-home wife. So being a stay-at-home wife and your husband leaves, where does that leave you? It leaves you destitute and broke and broken. And for the first time in my life, a mother, a career woman, a business owner, and somebody that felt pretty confidently independent her whole life has now found herself in a space of despair, hurt, and destitution, and to find out that I was being evicted out of my lovely, elaborate space. Evicted? What? What am I supposed to do? How does this even work? She had to talk me through the process of how it worked, because I had never been in that space before. And then I remember going through that, feeling like I was at the deepest, darkest space that I could ever be. I was penniless, without a place to go of my own. And I was in a city where all of my financial stability was in a whole nother state. Because in Georgia, I got it. I have clients, I have production friends, I can work, I can make money like that. But I was taken away from everything that I knew that was safe and that was secure for myself, and I was the perfect little housewife, now left with nothing. Thankfully, I have a nephew and his wife, Brian and Tasha. Love you guys so much. They invited myself and my daughters into their home because we had nowhere to go. And in their home, it was just them two, but they had a 3-bedroom, so it was enough room for my daughters to have a room and me to have a room. My room was literally the size of a closet. It had a window and a bed. When you stand up, there was no walking around. It was scoot out one way and back in another way. I felt like I had hit my lowest point. How could this happen to me? Why was this happening to me? God, wait, you trying to kill me or something? Like, do you not love me? Like, how is it that I'm in this space that's so deep and dark? And why am I here? What did I miss? How did I get here? And I had to go through that process of where I was and sitting in it. And I remember standing in the shower at my nephew's house, and I mean crying so bad that the water and the tears just merged together. Like it was like you didn't know which one was which. And I cried and I cried and I cried. And I remember deep in me, as I'm crying, I remember just through my agony and through my tears, I mustered out, but I will bless the Lord at all times, and your praise will continually be in my mouth. Why am I even saying that? What am I blessing? What am I blessing? I'm like hurting and everything is terrible. What am I blessing? And I stopped and I thought, I have a roof over my head. My daughters are fine. Life for them seems like, oh, we just moved to a family member's house and we're still okay. Crazy enough, in this famine time, I had food, I had a roof over my head. Surprisingly, I always had money. I had accessibility to 2 cars, not one. And I still had family around me that loved and cared for me. So famine and favor was happening at the same time. That's how I bless the Lord at all times. That's how I can do it when it doesn't make sense. That's how I can confuse the enemy, because I don't stick and stay in that space of despair. Life right now for a lot of people is just like that. The economy is going up, but I have my family. My job is kind of shaky, but I have my loved one. Like whatever it is, it's like you have the blessing and you have the frustration all at the same time. So then God gives you a choice. What do you focus on? Because if you focus on the famine, that's pretty much what you're going to get more of. You focus on the favor, that's what you're going to get most of. So I decided in that deep moment for me, I'm going to focus on the favor. I'm going to be happy in this little tiny room that I can barely stand up in, knowing that I just left this elaborate sky view condo, knowing that when I left Georgia, I left a beautiful home, knowing that this wasn't what I was used to, but yet I'm here. So even in this space, how do I still remain grateful and have gratitude for this favor? Because he said, whatever a man thinketh, that's who he is. So he is. So if I'm thinking about this a lot and thinking about how favorable I am and how much grace I have and how much blessing I have, then I get more of it. Had I stayed in that space of how could he have done this to me? I have never been in this space so low before. I have never been this broke before. Oh my God, I am so broke. I am so discouraged. Then guess what? Honestly, 6-7 years later, I would still be in that space at my nephew's and his wife's home in despair, in resentment, and fear, and doubt, and self-defeat. And the reason why I say self-defeat, because at the point that your offender does something, your offender doesn't even have to be a person. It could be loss of a job or your health or whatever it is. At the point that that disruption happened in your life, their part of it is done. So everything that I have after that is what I am doing to myself. So I would be afflicting myself with me overshadowing my mind with deep, dark thoughts of what was happening to me. So I decided, do I take this approach and keep getting lower and lower, or do I take this approach and keep bringing myself up higher? I'm grateful for the little things. You got to find things that you're grateful for that, I'm grateful that my hands are soft today. I mean, anything to find that space of gratitude. I did this gratitude challenge, and I believe I shared it with you guys one time before. There was like this love challenge. So for 30 days, I made sure that I thought about nothing but love. I love my watch. I love my arms. I love my hair. I love my hands. I mean, whatever it is, it could be the minute thing. I found spaces of gratitude and love. And guess what happened? When I was in this space of famine, but I focused on the favor, within 6 months, I was back in Georgia. Within 6 months, I was back to work. Within 6 months, I had my own place. Within a year, I had replaced everything that I had lost. Within 1 year, it was replaced. And not because anybody gave it to me, not because I had to raise money for it, not because I had to use credit for it. I was blessed abundantly because I chose that in that famine, favor still rung higher. Favor was still the most important thing to me. So today, we see them both. We see the wheat and the tare. But I'm going to focus on the wheat, because the wheat is what's going to be strong. The wheat is what's going to feed me. The wheat is going to be what nourishes me and keep me going to the next level. Don't get discouraged. Don't feel like that this is the end of the world. Take your focus and you change it, because everybody has something good that they can be grateful for. And don't look at it as society sees what you should be grateful for. Trust me, I'm in the production world. I'm behind the scenes. I see everything that happens in the movie world. It's smoke and mirrors. That we from the societal standpoint, try to reach for what we see on TV and in the media. And it really is that fake carrot that sat on your grandmother's table inside of her little fruit basket or her vegetable basket that she kept as a decoration in her kitchen, but you couldn't really eat it. She couldn't cut it up and put it in soup. There was no nourishment to it. So the things that you see that you are grieving for, striving for, beating yourself up for because you can't have it, you don't think you can get it. I need that big car. I need that big house. I need that great man. I need that great wife. Stop. Nobody has a perfect life. Nobody. It may appear to be perfect. It may appear to be the nicest thing that you see, but it's their life. You find your space, you find your purpose, and you'll find your joy. But you can't find it until you are favoring in the famine, because favor is always going to be the highest. What is your purpose? I found it in my pain, and usually that's how it happens. So I want you to think about this. Honestly, what is it that you're focusing on the most? Because that's exactly what you're going to attract to yourself. I choose favor because I'm going to have a fabulous life finishing strong. So, of course, I don't like to leave you without an affirmation. So repeat after me. I function and flow with a purpose. A purpose that is ignited by my resilience, my clarity, and my commitment. I have the ability to help and heal myself and others when I remain connected and committed to my purpose. I am powered by my purpose. So all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Guess why? Because all I think about is favor and not famine. Now believe it and know it. I love you, and I look forward to finishing strong with you.